Welcome to Primo RV Center and a quick highlight tour of what makes an Apex Nano so special to our clients, but also in the industry as an ultralight. Starting, really most importantly, it's about the construction. So we have kind of a sidewall picture here, but inside you're going to notice that in the structure here on the inside, we now have the same ASDEL that we have married to the back of the fiberglass. So the idea being that if you did have a bit of a spill inside here, it's not going to do any damage as it contacts the wall. So you've got that built-in insurance, which our customers absolutely love. Again, peace of mind, especially if they've had perhaps an older unit with a bit of water damage. Is something that they want to make sure that doesn't happen in the future here. Another major feature here that they added all the way back in 2019 is the fact that we now have solar standard. It was an option at one point, but it is now 100 watt standard in all Apex Nanos. So a wonderful feature. Again, allows you to make sure that when you're coming back from vacation, you are not necessarily always plugged in, but your batteries are always charging, which customers really appreciate. Another thing you're going to notice is ground clearance. So typically a lot of ultralights, that plumbing is several inches closer to the ground. So that is something that is very important, especially if you are looking to get a bit off grid. The other thing too is size of the tanks. You're going to notice here that we see a bit of the tank, that it isn't fully recessed, and the reason for that is you have much larger than average tanks here. So we have a 50-gallon freshwater and we have 33-gallon black and gray water. So what that means to you as you go off grid is you're not going to have to worry about dumping tanks, breaking camp, bringing some other kind of vessel to be able to get rid of that waste. It's going to buy you time, which people appreciate, especially when they're on vacation. Another feature that people absolutely love over the long term is the black tank flush here. So that is a wonderful feature that allows you to clean out those tanks so that your sensors read appropriately, so they're giving you the best advice, so you know when it's time to be able to then go and dump all the waste. On this side, you're going to see a bit more of the ground clearance here, so we've got lots of ground clearance. Come around to this side, the windows. This is another comment that we hear an awful lot on our Nanos, and that is the size of the windows. So you have the same opposing window here in your kitchen as you do at the dinette. So you get a great amount of cross flow of air. We always get the emergency exit window as well by the bed. And then around the front, many of the coaches, many of the Nanos will have a corresponding window on this side. And this is in their smallest size, an 18-foot unit. And then you have the wonderful large window in the front. So when you have that foul weather, again, you're going to have lots of light inside. It's going to feel light and bright, and it tends to feel much bigger than it is. And that's a comment that we often hear. Another thing, especially with young children, a unit like this that does have bunks, is the steady steps here. So when I plant my foot, there's no movement. Animals much preferred as well, so if you've got pets that are coming with you. And as we mentioned, windows, especially in bunk areas, you're going to have multiple windows all the way around, just that superior light. So we've got, speaking of brightness inside, again, fully functioning kitchen. So probably one of the best kitchens I've seen in an ultralight from the standpoint that everything is undermounted. So all the surfaces you have in the kitchen are fully usable. So again, for prep, if you have to be inside, if the weather's not cooperating, people really do appreciate that as well. So the other thing too in this class, very lightweight units for their size. So they're giving you a lot of features by using things like ASDEL composite in the walls. They can bring down that overall weight. Something I love in this series is the 3-speed fan. So this is a wonderful way to be able to, when you get to the campsite, open all these windows that you have. So you're getting that fresh air in, and then this is going to be a 3-speed exhaust fan that's going to take all that hot air out, especially if you're off grid. Again, multiple batteries up front. You're going to be able to then kind of replenish that air quickly, but again, not having to necessarily run a generator, looking for 30 amp service. As we come back around to the front, one of the last things that we often get comments on is the fact that you do have 2 standard propane tanks. So you have, again, the ability to be off grid longer. You can run that furnace longer. You can run the hot water tank longer. You have room for, say, 2 batteries that you would need to be able to do that as well. And then standard, not from Apex, but from us here at Primo RV Center, we do put a power jack on the front of all our Apex Nanos. So it's not an available factory option, but we do that here because so many of our clients are using smaller vehicles, and something that they absolutely, definitely appreciate with our Apex Nano series. We'd invite you down to Primo RV Center to come have a closer look at many of the available Apex Nano floor plans that we aim to keep in stock at all times.